When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, want to see a dead body?
Hey guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fan fiction story. Let's get right into this what if. As we continue our story where we left off, where Izuku is flying into several trees. Izuku dragged his fingers into the ground, stopping his momentum from being struck in the chest by the Nomu. Izuku started to cough up some spit from being struck so hard. Damn, that thing's powerful. Izuku barely saw the Nomu come rushing towards him. The moment Izuku rolled to the right, the science project gone wrong slammed his fist where Izuku was prior, before he rolled out of the way. Izuku can clearly see several cracks in the ground from the Nomu's pure physical strength. Izuku jumped backward to get some distance as he ripped several trees out of the ground, using his telekinesis to throw them towards Nomu. The Nomu got hit as he goes flying backwards away from the forest area. He immediately gave pursuit out of the forest area into the water area. Immediately he started to use his bioelectricity to slammed his hand into the water, or put his hands in the water, shocking all the villains in the Nomu that were in the water. Luckily for Sue and whoever was team up with her, she was already gone from this area. She's already with some Black Canary, so that's she's basically out of the way. Only for Izuku to see steam coming off the creature. His attack barely affected it. The creature rushed forward with incredible speed and struck Izuku across the face, making him go flying into some nearby trees, landing back of the clearing where the villains originally were. Izuku slammed his hand into the ground, stopping his momentum. As he dusted himself off, a second later, the Nomu appeared a second later, ready for more action, as it gave out a terrifying scream. It looks like I'm going to have to go all out. You monster, so be it. As he throws his leather jacket off to the side, as Izuku gets into a fighting stance. Meanwhile, Shigaraki's boasting he can't defeat the Nomu. It was made to kill All Might himself. You can't kill the Nomu. It was manufactured to kill All Might himself, not some nobody. Not some background character. So, you tell me this thing is not even human? Of course it's not human. You background character. You damn NPC. Thank you, crusty lips, as Izuku has a vicious grin on his face. That means I can actually go all out without worrying about hurting someone in the meantime. It's time to get this party started. As the Nomu and Izuku rush towards each other, exchanging blows, basically with each other, with their fists colliding, making wind pressure when their fists colliding, ripping several trees that was nearby out of the ground. Izuku swung his hand backwards and unleashed the most powerful strike he could conjure at the moment. The moment he made contact with Nomu's fist, Izuku's right arm shattered as the Nomu goes flying backwards from the pure physical strength that Izuku demonstrated. That didn't stop the Nomu. Izuku pushed past the pain and continued the battle between him and the creature that's called the Nomu. He was forced to use his legs. His right arm is already broken. He doesn't know how bad the damage is to his right arm, but he can't worry about that right now. Despite all the blows he's been landing on the Nomu, it seems like it's not damaging at all, like he's recovering. As you notice, this creature somehow absorbs his attacks, and the attacks that do damage him is immediately healed. No matter no matter how hard you try, future hero, you can't hurt my Nomu. He has shock resorption alongside with his super strength and speed and his regeneration. You're dead. It's only a matter of time before you die, kid. You're just way under level. You fought valiantly, but this is game over. And there is no continues. Nomu, finish him off. The moment that the Nomu started to move towards Izuku, Izuku unleashed a huge amount of fire from the oxygen from the air. But the fire is not even stopping the Nomu. It's slowing him down, but not stopping him. The Momu is slowly moving towards Izuku, pushing forward, like the fire doesn't even burn him at all. Oh, sorry, at all. What the hell is this thing? What is this thing even made of? My strength. I'm sorry. that went down the wrong too. Let's start this over. What the hell that thing is even made of? My strength doesn't do crap against it. My fire is completely useless. My bioelectricity doesn't do anything to it. What the hell can I do to bring this down? Think, Izuku. As he's saying this in his mind, there's always my telekinesis, but if he indeed has shock absorption, that would be completely useless. Before he could do anything else, Bakugo and Shoto Todoroki come into the fray as Bakugo blasts a humongous explosion without using his gauntlets at the Momu. As smoke starts to develop, or smoke starts to appear from the attack, concealing the Nomu in smoke. When the smoke finally cleared, the Nomu has no damage whatsoever from Bakugo's attack. I might not like you, Blondie, but thanks for the assist. The feeling's mutual, green bastard. I didn't come here to save you. I just want to challenge this thing, and the thing looks pretty powerful. He shook off my explosions like they were nothing. As much as I hate to admit it, I think we need to team up on this thing. Icy hot. Blast that thing with ice, so hold still, so give him the time to pull my pants from my gauntlets. I was planning to, Bakugo. Shoto immediately unleashed his ice side, encased the Nomu in ice. You're up, Bakugo. Immediately when he noticed the Nomu was encased in ice, he went to Izuku's side. He immediately noticed his arm was broken, so he created a cast made from ice. Thanks, Todoroki. No problem, man. You're good to continue? I don't think my ice will last long. Shut up, you two. And you, time to die. As he pulls the pins from his gauntlet as the humongous explosion goes off towards the Nomu, making the creature go flying backwards with increasing speed into the wall of the USJ. Shall I intervene, young master? No need. This is a proper boss fight. Their new addition to the party doesn't matter in the least. Let's watch. Let's see who win. The boss or the party of heroes? Izuki was the only one Izuki was the only one that noticed that the Nomu was moving towards Bakugo with incredible speed. Izuku was left with no choice but to step in front of Bakugo as a hu as a, and a sorry and he unleashed a devastating kick to the Nomu's chest, making the Nomu go flying backwards back into the wall of the USJ and in the same spot. As Izuku falls down to one knee, breathing heavy. As everyone heard a loud sound, as everyone turned to the door to the USJ, as they watched the USJ door gets blasted open, as All Might has finally arrived, with a very serious expression on his face. He's no longer smiling. Mirko is right beside him. But unlike All Might, she has a smirk on her face. Well, look at that! The number one hero finally graced us with his presence. Good to show up, finally, All Might. Nomu, kill the number one hero. Painfully, be most appreciated. While All Might engaged the Nomu in the hand-to-hand combat, Mirko appeared right next to Izuku. Good to see you again, kid. You did a good job, holding your own. As she swung his good arm over her shoulder, as she helps him over towards the rest of the class. Thanks, Mirko. No problem, little slugger. If you went and died on me, that would be problematic for me. As she, after making sure Izuki was safe with the rest of the class, as she jumped forward to engage the Nomu with all her might. As the Nomu and All Might collide fists, making small shock waves from their impacts, as the creature gets kicked right in the side of the ribs, as the Nomu goes flying backwards a little bit from Mirko's kick. Thanks for the backup, Mirko. No problem, All Might. I always want to team up with you. Now let's get rid of this monster. Let's deal with this thing, then I could actually go talk to my future psychic. I normally don't accept weaklings, but the student over there is caught my eye. All Might cackled a little bit from her response. I kind of feel sorry for the young man. The one who takes your interests usually don't stay intact for very long. This one's different. He won't break like the others did. I had my eye on him ever since the entrance exam. Principal Nezu has been giving me updates on his progress. As Miracle dodged a fist from the Nomu, as she jumped backwards, as All Might lands a hit on the Nomu's face, while Miracle bent down on all fours and landed a vicious uppercut kick into the under the Nomu's chin, kicking the Nomu in the air as she jumped upwards to give All Might jump upwards to give a smash. As the Nomu gets hit to the ground hard, leaving cracks in the ground, Miracle was shocked alongside All Might as they watched the Nomu slowly get up and regenerated any damage the Nomu received from Miracle and All Might together. What the hell is this thing? No wonder the kid had a difficult time. That proves that brat has pretty good potential to fight so long against this. Fought so long against this monster, this Nomu. I don't know how he shrugged off my attacks. It looks like he's been absorbing it and what damage is visible, it heals immediately. Shigaraki started to laugh. This is where you die, All Might. You can't defeat the Nomu. He has shock resorption with generation, superior speed. You're done. You're done for. Number one hero. Finish the job. Kill the Nomu. Mirko and All Might nod while Shigaraki was monologuing. They came up with a plan. Mirko rushed with a roundhouse kick in the stomach of the Nomu, as All Might unleashed a 100% smash uppercut, as Nomu gets blasted off through the atmosphere, entering space, heading towards the sun as it burns to death, or gets incinerated. Shigaraki started to scratch his neck. Cheater! 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 As he stomps his foot, can't be possible. You pay for this, All Might. Before Shigaraki could lunge towards All Might to try to decay the number one hero with his quirk. Reinforcements has arrived as Shigaraki got shot in both of his legs by Snipe. As Kirigiri had no choice but to open the portal underneath Shigaraki as they make their escape. As Kirigiri opened the portal for both of them to escape, leaving the rest of the villains behind. It didn't take the heroes long to round up the rest of the villains after everyone gave the authorities the play what happened at the USJ. Luckily, the only one that was injured was Izuku, so they sent him to the hospital. Izuku found himself in a hospital. He's never thought he would be in this sort of situation. He's never been seriously injured like this before, so this was a new experience for him. After Recover Girl helped him recover with her quirk, after she gave him a brief lecture about safety, Mina, Shoto, Momo, and Kirishima came to his hospital room to visit him after being stuck there for a full day, for about a couple days, about a day or two. Unfortunately, Kara couldn't make it because she had to deal with, she had some sort of meeting with Black Canary. At least you look better. Are you alright? As Momo looked at Izuku with a concerned expression in her eyes, she just simply worried about her new friend. I'm touched you're so concerned about me, Momo. Of course I care. You're my friend, Izuku. Before they could discuss that before they could discuss that even further, I don't know what that was so hard to say. Harley and Ivy come bursting into the room. Without warning, Ivy and Harley embrace Izuku in a hug. What happened, Izuku? As Harley sat down right next to Izuku, you had us worried. We had no way to contact you once we figured out you were in a hospital. We wasn't allowed to visit you until today, even though I wanted to smash that doctor with my bat. And trying to stop Ivy from ripping their heads off. I would have contacted the two of you if there wasn't a villain attack at the USJ. I don't know how they found out where we were going, or how they figured out that we were going to USJ, but they clearly had information. They knew All Might was supposed to be there. Either they found a way to break into UA, or there's a spy. As everyone's eyes widen at the implication Izuku is implying, Mina immediately began to protest. I can't believe that anyone from our class would willingly help the League of Villains. The likelihood of someone from Class 1A being a traitor is unlikely, Mina, but that doesn't mean there isn't one in Class 1B or the General Studies. That's not even including the support course. I'm just saying there's a good likelihood there's a spy. I don't plan to point any fingers until I have a solid proof. But until then, Just keep that in mind. What do you think about this, Todoroki? As Todoroki has his fingers under his chin in a thinking pose, there is a good possibility there is a spy given the evidence the villains clearly knew we were going to USJ and clearly knew that All Might was going to be there. Like Midoriya said, we can't do anything until we have proof. We should inform Miss Black Canary of our suspicions in case there is merit in your theory, Izuku. Let's just make sure we cover all our bases. I agree with you there. It'd be best to it would be best to inform her. So, what did I miss at school? Classes has been canceled for the time being, so you haven't missed anything. They're giving the whole school about 5 weeks break. 5 weeks break. Then they've already announced the sports festival. So sports festival basically. As much as this topic is interesting, I'll be taking you home. Where is that blasted doctor? So he could discharge you already. Harley, drag that old man in here. It's time to take our boyfriend home. Wait, boyfriend? You can't be serious. And what do you mean by that? As she stares daggers at Kirishima. As he weighs in his hands in defense, I don't mean anything bad by it. It's just not very common to see a guy date two girls at the same time. I mean, that's most guys' dreams, at least. That's most guys dream about. Mina knew full well what the next words he's about to say. And she's not about to hear that, and he knows he's going to ask about her age. Mina could tell she must be in her late 20s. Same with Harley. As she covered Kirishima's mouth before he dug himself even deeper. I do apologize for him, Ivy. He's a bit of an idiot sometimes. Doesn't know how to shut up. Aren't? Huh. Isn't that right, bestie? As Kirishima nods. As Ivy finally noticed the pink girl, Mina, for the first time, I don't believe we officially met yet. How rude of me. I'm Mina, and that's my idiot of a best friend, Kirishima. I'm friends with Izuku. As Mina has a smile on her face, you're a bubbly one. I like you. Just keep your hands off him. He's mine. Of course, I wouldn't dream of it. Good, and who are the rest of you? Hi, I'm Momo Yairozu, and this is Shoto Todoroki. We're friends with Izuku too. You don't have to worry about me. I'm kind of engaged to Shoto over here. That's good to hear. It's a pleasure to meet you all. As long as you heed my warning, he's off the limits. I didn't take you for the jealous type, Ivy. As she sat down on his lap, on the bed, it's not about jealousy, love. It's about marking my territory. I'm more than willing to share you with Harley. With that, it comes to you. Sorry, when it comes to you, but anyone else, let's just say they wouldn't be breathing for very long. It didn't take Harley long to drag the doctor by the collar of his shirt. After running a few more tests on Izuku, they finally discharged him after saying goodbye to his classmates. He headed home with Harley and Ivy. When he immediately got home, Harley and Ivy told him to sit down on the couch while Harley makes dinner for the three of them, as Ivy laying against Izuku, is her head resting on his chest, enjoying each other's company. You know, when I first heard of the USJ attack being attacked, I almost rushed over there, but after Harley calmed me down, I decided against it. Are you sure you're all right? I'm totally fine, Ivy. My pride was a bit damaged by the fight, but I'm good. That's good. I was worried about you. I'm glad UA is giving you giving you 5 weeks break. A 5 year a 5 week break. So anytime I could get extra time with sorry, anytime I could get extra time spending with you, I won't squander the chance. I'm totally going to take advantage of the extra free time you're going to have. I'm looking forward to it. Good answer. As a week has passed, as he separated his time training at the UA facilities and spending time with Ivy and Harley until one day he had a knock at the door. When he opened up the door, he saw Todoroki and Momo. What's up? We probably could have called, but we're in a rush. Can we come in? Of course. Come inside. As he stepped aside for Momo and Shoto to come in, as he led the two of them to the couch, as he went to the kitchen to serve some tea that he just made, as he sat down with them, handing them a cup of tea, as Momo thanks him for the gesture, as she took it and started drinking. So did Shoto. So, what brings you to my home? I take it this is not a social call. Do you remember what we were talking about before the USJ? About the ruins of Academy City? I figured this is the best chance to check up on this place. We clearly have the time. What do you think? I'm in. When do you want to leave? Tomorrow night. I see doing this at night would probably be the best course of action. Where do you want to meet tomorrow afternoon? You know the abandoned gas station outside of the city, near the forest, to the northeast. I know the place. We'll meet up there. Izuku said goodbye to his friends for the time being, as he walked out of the house. As he returned back to the house and shut the door, after explaining to Harley and Ivy where he's going tomorrow night, they just made sure for him to promise to be careful when they ate dinner. They went to bed. The next morning, Izuku woke up pretty early on, and made a cup of coffee and made some breakfast for the three of them. As the girls finally got up, as all three of them ate breakfast together, as Izuku saw them off to work. He still had time to kill, but by chance he got a phone call telling him that his custom order leather jacket is already for him to pick up. As he walked out of his house and locked the house, then he began his walking towards the direction of the shop. 15 minutes later, he walked into the custom store and got the jacket. As he examined it, as the store owner told him that it's fireproof, like requested. It's able to take a bit of force. It's very durable material infused with the leather jacket. It's totally immune to any type of electricity attack to a certain degree. After hearing that, the shop owner made after hearing that, the shop owner made his way after hearing that from the shop owner, he made his way out while wearing a new leather jacket. He stopped at one of the bus stops that will lead him outside of the city. After waiting 30 minutes, he got on the bus, and about an hour later, they finally he finally exited the bus and made his way to the abandoned gas station that Shoto mentioned. He walked towards the old abandoned gas station on the outskirts of the city. Izuku figured he was a bit early, so he used his free time to meditate and do some light shadow boxing using his fists and legs, as he pictured fighting someone in his mind while he's shadow boxing. After a few hours of that, he took a break leaning against a tree. 15 minutes later, he saw Shoto and Momo drive up in a limousine as they both step out. I gotta say, Todoroki Momo, you make an impressive entrance. Momo turned bright red from embarrassment. From the embarrassment comment, she shuddered, she stuttered, as she said she told Izuku that she was kind of rich. As Todoroki starts to laugh because Shoto's always found it funny that how embarrassing she gets when she talks about her family's wealth. As Momo glares at Todoroki, do I need to give you two lovebirds some privacy? Before Shoto could say anything else, they were interrupted by a familiar voice as Nezu comes walking out of the gas station, yawning. Oh, good. All three of you are here. So, shall we begin? Izuku just stared at Nezu wearing some sort of safari outfit with a safari hat while holding on to a cane. How did you even know we were here, Principal Nezu? My dear boy, nothing escapes my ears at UA. I knew eventually you would want to investigate the ruins of the city of Academy City. Don't worry, I'm not going to stop you. I'm actually curious myself, so I'll be accompanying you. Chop chop, we're burning sunlight. Izuku, Momo, and Shoto are confused by Principal Nezu's attitude, but they ultimately agree this to go on as they all they basically travel through the forest into heading towards Academy City. When they finally got into the clearing, they saw Academy City in the background. There, sorry, there's a there's a whole city surrounded by a humongous black gate or fence, basically metal, huge, and several military vehicles patrolling the outside of the city boundaries. Izuku and the rest of the group hid behind a tree when a patrol truck drove past them. Shit, you weren't kidding. The security is pretty tight. This is just the outside city. We haven't even gotten to the city itself yet. It's the military. Considering what information I got from my father, this this place is off the books operation, so they won't be any backlash from the rest of the military. After all, they're trying to keep whatever inside's a secret. What young Momo said is true. The whole situation is very interesting and exciting. It's time to sneak past the it's time to sneak past the patrols, as Nezu is clearly enjoying himself. As Principal Nezu jumped onto Izuku's shoulder, as Izuku begins to levitate everyone in the air with his telekinesis, immediately took flight with the rest of his friends. Finally landed gracefully with the whole group of them on the other side of the humongous black metal gate. Come on, let's go. Let's go in these abandoned buildings so we can strategize what to do next before any patrols come. It's unclear how many numbers they have, and these military folk like to patrol these areas probably pretty frequently. If the commander's not a complete idiot. If my memory is correct, you had a run-in with the military in America. Even though during that time you were under my control, you learn from your experience. That's good to see. But are you sure you're alright, young Izuku? Levitating so many people must be tiring. I'm good, Principal Nezu. That's nowhere near my limit when it comes to levitating people. Fascinating. I wonder how many you can lift up. But no matter. Let's let's concentrate on our task at hand. As they all entered the abandoned building and leaned against the wall, once they gathered their thoughts, they made their way deeper into the city, dodging whatever patrols that come across them, until they came across a humongous building in the ruin of Academy City. By the look of it, it looks pretty much brand new. Izuku noticed a lot of traffic after sticking out the building from a couple buildings over. Well, with Nezu, whenever they're doing in that building, it seems to be pointed to that area. Soldiers are clearly coming out frequently out and in of the building. So what do you think, Nezu? What do you think the best option to approach this? With the spotlight from the other buildings patrolling the whole outside area of the building, sneaking in through the front door is going to be highly difficult. It is possible, but I might not. I might be able to sneak past them with no trouble, but the others wouldn't. I was definitely right. You're quite intelligent. You were right. The old building like that, this building like that is normally would have buildings like this usually have a second entrance. I suggest we stealthily scout out the whole area around the building. That's our best course of action at this current time, young Izuku. Should, sir. As Izuku floated up in the air with Nezu, a second later, they saw the second entrance. There was only one problem, it's heavily guarded. Go. Getting by the security would be a whole lot easier through the second entrance. We should be able to get in through the ventilation shaft right there. It's big enough for everyone to go through. We just have to get past the guards that's guarding the back door. That's a good plan. We'll go through the vents. Now let's head back with the rest of the group. As they made their way back to the abandoned building where Momo and Todoroki is hiding, or laying low. Finally returned. Alright, everyone. We found a way in without going through the front door. It's completely out of going through the front door or back is out of the question. But there is a ventilating shaft right next to the secondary entrance. It's heavily guarded through security. But if we play this correctly, we'll be able to sneak past them without even being noticed. Any questions, students? Nod at Principal Nezu. Good. We will wait here for about 2 hours. Then we'll proceed with the plan. I've always wanted to sneak into a heavily guarded military outpost like this. It's so exciting. As everyone can see, Principal Nezu has a mischievous grin on his face. Shoto leaned over to Izuku. You know, Izuku, Principal Nezu, as well, Shoto leaned towards Izuku so Principal Nezu couldn't hear. I'm more terrified of our principal than the actual soldiers, if you could even call them that. They're not even wearing any uniforms. Totally agree with you on that. Our principal is quite intense. But remember, my beloved students, once we get inside, if we come across any resistance, use non-lethal force. As all three of them said in unison, understood, sir. At some time has passed, as 2 hours has finally came and gone. They finally begin their infiltration, whatever facility this is. While they finally got out of the building and began to make their approach to the secondary entrance. Izuku turned himself invisible by reflecting the light around his body. He made a big enough distraction so the rest of the group can slowly sneak past the guards, so they could get to the vents. Once Izuku saw them go through the vents, he made his way over there himself. After Principal Nezu gave him a thumbs up. Once he entered the vents and uncloaked himself, as he met up with the rest of the group, as they exit the vent in one of the empty rooms in the building. I'll make sure the hallways are clear. as everyone sees him disappear and open the door, as the door automatically shuts behind him. After walking through the hallway a little bit, he pinned down how often they patrolled this hallway. They patrol this area every 20 minutes, so it gives them and the group plenty of time to go further into the building without being spotted. Izuku went back to the group and guided them stealthily through the current hallway. The whole hallway is made of white metal with sliding metal doors that's connected to some sort of console on the side of the wall next to the doors, like a panel. And a couple and a couple of them has a key card to in order to open up. The whole hallway is pure white. They finally came across a elevator, but the only problem is the only direction the elevator goes is down. Izuku believes that this is clearly suspicious. That the elevator only goes down, that means they're trying to hide something. So he clearly knows that. So he decided with Izuku and the group decided to descent down with the elevator. When they exit the elevator, they notice a group of soldiers heading their direction, as they immediately dove for the first door they saw that didn't have a keycard slot. As they came face to face with some scientists, Izuku immediately used his telekinesis to knock their heads together, knocking them out. Well, that was close. Indeed, that was very close. Scientists. Interesting. The plot thickens. Nezu reached into the pocket of one of the scientists and took a key card. We're definitely going to be needing this. As he holds up the key card in his hands, as he puts it away in his suit that somehow he brought, Izuku still can't figure out where that suit came from. And that's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.